The Baltimore Orioles went up to Fenway Park today and spoiled the Boston Red Sox home opener with a 7-1 victory, improving their record to 6-4 early on in the 2024 campaign. Early in this marathon of a season, the offense wakes up, and Colton Cowser, the rookie, shows you why he was a top 5 pick for Mike Elias in the Baltimore Orioles as he breaks out with 4 RBIs. Corbin Burns, the ace. Aces were wild, and just like Mr. Burns, he was excellent. Baltimore Orioles post-game show. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you're new, hit that like button. Make sure you sign off in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the Orioles with a big-time 7-1 victory, improving to 7-4. It's the official Baltimore Orioles post-game show right here on the Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you your Orioles coverage. How you want it, when you need it. We got it coming to you right after this. Welcome back, Baltimore Orioles fans. Birdland. Intro was a little janky, so I apologize for that. Having some technical difficulties with the intro, but you know what it is. It's the Flex On Podcast, official home of the Baltimore Orioles post-game show, your Orioles coverage 365. And as we ramp up the coverage this regular season, the Orioles improved to 6-4 with a big-time win over the Boston Red Sox. Before I get into today's game, coming into this game, we were 9 games into the season. So early in its infancy stage. Haven't even played double digit games yet. And we've seen the Orioles struggle offensively. And I think a lot of fans sometimes have this football mindset that one loss is the end of the season. And you have to realize that when you play 162 games, you can't have that mindset because a loss that you may forget about in a few weeks in April, it's not the end of the world. As we know in football, there are only 17 games. But baseball is completely different, folks. We have to get rid of this football mindset that we live and die with every Orioles game. They're 6-4 now. They're right there on the heels of the Yankees, who have 9 wins in the division. Boston so far is 7-4. This is the first game of a 3-game set against the Red Sox. You win this series, you're right there. I think people coming out of the Pittsburgh series were a little upset. The offense was struggling. The bullpen gave up a few leads, gave up some walk-offs. But it's baseball, folks. The Orioles, while they did win 101 games this year, I thought this season would mean less wins, maybe in the 90 to 95 range, but more playoff success. And that's what it's all about for the Orioles. It's about how far can they go in the playoffs? What can they do when the lights are the brightest and championships are on the line, thus in the playoffs? They got a great win today. They scored 9 runs, and they only give up what? Oh, they scored 7 runs, excuse me. But they only give up 1 run. And it starts with Corbin Burns. This trade is going to pay itself forward. It already has. He gets the win today. 2-0. He improves to 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts, only 2 walks. He was fantastic. He actually didn't strike out a guy until the 4th inning, but after that, he turned up the heat, and he was fantastic. Bayo for the Red Sox, he was their best pitcher last year. He went 5 in the third with 4 hits, 1 earned, 3 Ks, 2 walks. But Corbin Burns, fielding his position well, controlling the strike zone, mixing up his pitches, just having command of the game from the pitching perspective. He's showing how good he is. He's showing that he can pitch in any ballpark, in any division, and especially the AL East. And we know the Orioles, as of late, I think 3 out of the last 4 years, they have met up with the Red Sox for their home opener. And Corbin Burns is showing why he is the man. And it's crazy because he'll actually get to pitch against his former team this weekend, the Milwaukee Brewers. And we'll actually get to see DL Hall on Friday night on Apple TV or listen on the Orioles radio network. He'll be pitching Friday at Camden Yards. So a little reunion there. Burns will go up against his former team. Hall will go up against his former team. That should be intriguing. But Corbin Burns, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 6 Ks, 2 walks. Another day at the office. And that trade, as I mentioned, is fantastic. It's paid dividends. And Mike Elias, once again, strikes gold, hits a home run, no pun intended. And the Orioles, like I said, they have their ace in Corbin Burns. And shout out to them because Corbin Burns is focused. He knows it's a contract year. And that brother, who is the Scott Boras agent, is going to get paid. That's an applause for Corbin Burns. Colton Cowser. A guy I've been a little hard on, personally. A guy I would like to see play more. And we're seeing him play more in left field. Austin Hayes is hitting right now. And I did a video saying this could be the last season of the Orioles outfield as we know it, with Santander, Mullins, and Hayes. Hayes seems to be the leading candidate who may be not necessarily on his way out, but could have a reduced role with this team. And you slide in a guy like Cowser, who was the fourth pick in the draft, versatile outfielder. You see the potential. Today could be the game we look back on 3-4 months from now, heading into the playoffs. That really woke up Colton Cowser and really springboarded him and propelled him to be an everyday star player for the Baltimore Orioles. He had 4 RBIs today. He was fantastic. He really had all the offense at one point. He was 2 for 4, 4 runs batted in. He did strike out twice, but he's hitting 467 on the season, 438 OBP, and a 733 slugging percentage. Cowser has power. Seems like he has the ability to hit with runners in scoring position, something the Orioles were struggling with early on in the season. And he can field his position. He was the offense today. 4 out of the 7 runs he drove in. And he was just fantastic. He is showing that he deserves more bats. I think the fan base wants him to get more bats. I think Brandon Hyde and Mike Elias want him to get more bats. And he's taking advantage of his opportunities. As we look at the lineup today, Gunnar Henderson batted leadoff. He went 2 for 5. Rutschman was second. He went 2 for 5. Santander was 1 for 5 with an RBI. Rutschman also had an RBI. Hayes, he had nothing today. Again, he pretty much pinch ran. O'Hearn was 1 for 3 with 2 walks. Mountcastle was 1 for 5. Mullins was 2 hits for 5, 2 out of 5, and he had a run batted in. As I mentioned, Cowser 2 for 4, 2 RBIs. Ramon Urias would have hit 1 out of 5. Tony Kemp, who's in the lineup again, 0 for 3. And Mateo, 0 for 1. There's questions all the time about the lineup with this team. We're seeing a lot of Tony Kemp. We're seeing a lot of Jorge Mateo. We're seeing a lot of Ramon Urias. I would have liked to see Westberg possibly in the lineup today over a Tony Kemp, over Urias, but that's just me. And Brandon Hyde is going to give Urias, he's going to give Mateo, he's going to give Kemp opportunities, as is Mike Elias. And we're going to see them in the lineup maybe a little more than we like. It is what it is. You win today. A win is a win is a win. You grind it out, your first American League East game of the season, and you continue what you did last year. You dominate your division. You played very well. I think they did a really, really, really good job last year in the division, and I think we get to see more of that this year, starting out with Boston. Like I said, Fenway used to be a house of horrors for the Orioles. Thankfully, it's not anymore. They have really played well in Boston. As I mentioned, they played there 3 out of the last 4 years, and they've been able to put up runs. They've been able to get wins. The bullpen. We know Ciano Perez is out, one of your lefty specialists. In steps Danny Coulombe. And I love Coulombe. I'm glad they worked out a deal with him. He's back with the team. He's back at it. He struck out the side. He has one of the best curveballs in the league. He did his job. And like I said, with Perez out, they're going to need a guy who can get stops in the bullpen and is a lefty specialist that can come in and work the strike zone. And when Danny Coulomb is pitching well, he's a very good piece to have. So big shout out to Colton Cowser. Big shout out to my boy Coulomb, because you guys have done a great job today. You guys deserve love. You guys deserve your flowers because helped carry us to this win today. Like I said, Colton Cosmo, 4 RBIs. Burns pitches 7, only 2 hits. Coulomb was fantastic. He pitched an inning, 3 strikeouts. Corbin Burns only had 90 pitches, 58 strikes. His ERA drops to 1.93. Coulomb still with a 0 ERA through 16 pitches, 12 strikes. And then everyday Jake Webb comes in the ninth, 1 inning pitch with a strikeout, 11 pitches, 8 strikes. So this pitching staff today, 9 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 walks, 10 Ks, and they only gave up the 1 home run early in the game, and that was to O'Neill, and that was in the first inning. And just like the Mike Trout game opening day, Burns gives up the early home run, a solo shot. As always, the pitching greats and Jim Palmer used to say, if you're going to give up a home run, make sure it's of the solo variety. You don't want to give up 2 and 3 run home runs. You want to limit the damage because you're going to give them up. It's the major leagues. Guys are really good. They can hit the ball far. Give up solo shots. And they did that today. And you can see with this bullpen being able to hold it down, the Orioles had 13 hits today. The offense woke up. And the Red Sox also had 2 errors, which really helped out as well. And I think I just seen a stat that the Orioles left 10 guys on base, and the Red Sox only 3. So they could have blew this game open even more. 10 to 1, 11 to 2. So it's even more room for improvement of hitting with runners in scoring position. Mullins did have a steal. Henderson with the steal as well. So good to see the Orioles using their speed, using their ability on the base path with some of their speedier guys. But the pitching is the key for this team. And when you get outings like that, you only got to use 3 arms. You love what you've seen there. And like I said, they were 8 for 15 today with runners in scoring position, left 10 on base. Cowser and Rutschman both had 2 out RBIs, which is very, very important. Very, very crucial to sustain success offensively. Gunnar Henderson with the double, and Cowser with 2 doubles as well. You got to beat teams in your division, and the Red Sox are one of those teams. This is the first of 3 games. This is the first of multiple games against the American League East. Obviously, you don't play as many as before. You only play 13, so every game is magnified even more. It's not 19 because interleague play is every day, so you do have to play other teams in between your divisional games. But you only give up 1 run, you got a good chance to win. And we know the Orioles, we saw it the first 2 games of the season. They're one of the most potent and streaky offenses in the league. When they're hot, they can have days like today. But when they're cold, they can struggle like they did in Pittsburgh, only scoring 2 or 3 runs, as will most teams. And the Orioles, yet again, find a way to win. They prove they can play with the lead. They prove they can come back from behind. And in this case, blow a game open and really dominate when they needed a win, especially on the road, which they were fantastic last season. But I want to hear from you. Sound off in the comment section. Sound off in the video right now down below. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Swing for the fences. Knock out. We do Orioles coverage each and every day. If you're new to our channel, I do Orioles post-game shows. It's obviously very tough to do them for 162 games, having a normal life that I have to tend to and other things going on, and depending on when they play and things like that. But I try to bring you consistent post-game shows, consistent videos, at least a couple times a week. This is our second post-game show of the season, and we're 10 games in. The Orioles did improve to 6-4. Big shout out to Brandon Hyde and the O's today, getting it done. Corbin Burns, we love you, man. Fantastic day today. Hopefully, the Orioles can figure out something to keep you here long term. Colton Cowser, save this date, Orioles fans. This could be the day that propels and springboards him to what we hoped he can be, what he projects to be, which is one of the best prospects, one of the best players in baseball. And it looks like he may have a home in left field. Now the question is, what do you do with Austin Hayes? I'm sure he'll still get his at-bats. He's a former All-Star. He's a veteran on his team. But let's stop with the Kempa Mateo love and Urias. After a while, we're going to have to give Westberg and eventually Jackson Holiday their just due and their at-bats. But a big-time game. Big shout out to Danny Coulomb. 1-inning pitch, strikes out the side. And everyday Jake Webb, who was a vital piece last year and kind of faltered down the stretch, especially in the playoffs. If we can get those guys where they need to be, I like our chances. And when Corbin Burns goes deep into the game, 7 innings, no complaints on our end. Orioles get it done today. They win 7-1 afternoon game as it was Boston's home opener. They'll do it in Boston 2 more nights, 7 p.m. start time. Then they'll come home Friday as they'll face DL Hall and the Milwaukee Brewers. They'll see Joey Ortiz. And on Sunday, Corbin Burns will pitch against his former team for kids opening day down at Camden Yards. So take the kids. They're giving a free hat away. I think they have a pregame dance party with Coco Melon, JJ, and all of those characters. So if you're into that type of thing for the family, go it out there on Sunday afternoon. This weather's a little crazy, so I sound a little stuffy. Please forgive me. I did want to come on here, Orioles fans in Berlin, and give you some content, give you something throughout the week, and update you. We can't stress. We can't have that football mindset. We can't worry ourselves. We can't panic. We're only 10 games in. It's a long ride. Buckle your seatbelt, because we won't stop. And the next chapter is only going to get better from here. But God's favorite host getting ready to sign off. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, swing for the fences. Hit that like button. It helps us out tremendously in the algorithm and helps other Orioles fans and other people discover this video. Hit the bell to know when all content drops on the channel. We had a great interview yesterday with Engraven, who covers the Baltimore Ravens. And we talked about the NFL, the offseason, and the upcoming NFL draft. Speaking of the draft, we have draft profiles on the channel as well, where we're breaking down prospects each and every day. God's favorite host, Birdland Orioles fans. Orioles get the win, 7-1, improved to 6-4. Colton Cowser, 4 RBIs. Corbin Burns, 7 strong innings pitched. And the Orioles pick it up offensively. And let's see what they do. It's a long season. And I got faith in this team that they'll offensively hit their stride and be in the mix when it's all said and done. Like I said, don't get caught up in the wins. May not be 101. May only be 91. But let's look at what they do in the postseason and what they do when the lights are the brightest. And the championships and ability to make your legacy is on the line. Thank you guys for watching this post-game show. Orioles win 7-1, improved to 6-4. Hopefully, the launching pad for Colton Cowser to be who we think he can be. And you are who we think you can be, because you're here with us on the Flex Zone Podcast, only place giving you your Orioles coverage how you want it when you need it. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time for more Orioles content and all the other content we have on this channel, the Flex Zone Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.